Hey guys, welcome to Colorful Cadam, and today's video is going to show you how terrible my art is, or at least it is when it comes to schoolwork. So I'm just gonna show you some of my art from the past few school years and show you guys what you've been, what you guys know and what you don't know about me. We're first gonna start with everything that's on the walls. Yeah, you see some of it right there, but there's more. Okay, we're good. Let's just continue on. With every great art piece, we start off with watercolor. I say sarcastically, of course, in a freaking way. So here is my watercolor piece, like the first one that I was like super proud of, that got me into, as you probably know in my previous video, I said something about how I wanted to test it out because of this. I wanted to properly use watercolors because of this piece. So here we go. Here's a close-up. I have a picture of this on my Instagram, I believe. Look at that water, though. That's supposed to be water, by the way. This is a piece that I did a long time ago. Like, a few years back. And you can tell, obviously, it's uneven. Like, look at that one. That one's perfect, and then this one's, like, bad. My blending was terrible, obviously. And the music, these little things in the background, I used to be in band when I was a few years back. And that was an actual song that we played. Both of them were. That one was one of my favorites, Superhero. Superheroes Are Us. That was like the best thing. I had so many solos in that. I was the trumpet, by the way. Alright, so here is like the best pieces. This was a piece we did this year. This was a myth piece based on the, depending on what myth you picked, you have to draw a piece on it. I drew the myth, the birth of Venus, or Aphrodite, where she comes up from the sea as sea foam, and the whole concept of this was that, let's ignore that face. That face is awful. But if you look down, you can see that kind of like the colors, kind of like there's a lot of colors going on here. And everybody really likes this blending. I don't know if I can focus on that and it look nice or not, but whatever. We'll get a close up. But those are pearls, green pearls, and I used like my two favorite colors, which was the light green and light aqua of the Prismacolor series to make that. This is like her cloth. It's just, yes. Everyone really liked this piece because of how much time I put into it. I put over a month into this piece because it was a lot of room, and the only time I worked was in class. I wasn't working on it like at home. And if I did work on it at home, it was in small intervals because I have a hard time working on things at home. But, yep, that's my myth piece. This is like one of the best pieces I did this year, according to everyone. And yeah. Now onto the canvases. This piece was a narrative project about surrealism. And, yeah, there's a story going on here. Let's not talk about that said story because it's pertaining to my own story that I don't want to talk about. This piece was a, this piece was a Day of the Dead piece that we had to do because this is around in October when we were making these, and she was making us do Day of the Dead skulls on canvases, and I was like, heh, I don't care what you say, I'm going to do a person. So I did a person, I did my character, and it's awful. I kind of want to redo this digitally. If there's any piece that I mention here, please tell me. Like, if I mention any pieces that I want to do, I'm going to do them digitally. Just mention one of the pieces I did, and I'll see if I can do it digitally. Because I want to practice on digital work. This piece was us drawing animals. We were supposed to draw an animal. You didn't have to draw a human, I just drew a human anyway. As you can tell, it's the same character. Actually, a lot of my art's pertaining to this character right here. I don't really draw her that much anymore, though, but I did for art pieces because it's easier to do that. This wolf, yeah, I BS'd it so hard. Can't you tell? Like, look at that. Like, hold up, I was trying to focus, and yeah. It's not a good piece. It was, like, last minute, I guess. When you have to put up your canvases back up. I'm gonna probably cut all this out. Anyway, those are the canvases. Done. starting off with the highest piece on this part of this wall is my sign language piece when we were learning how to do hands. We had to do our names, and can't you tell? K-A-D-A-M, Kadam, you know, because that's my name. And here was my name tag for our, cubbies, yeah. It was just really BS. I kind of was just like, I want to get this over with, so I got some Prismacolor pencils out and did some awful blending. Like, look at that. That's not blended. Nor is that, or is that. None of this is blended properly. That's kind of... Those colors work well together, but they're not blended. This part, though, was kind of blended. Yeah, like the blues, I'm always good at blues. This is when we first started doing our watercolor unit for, art. And what she did was, she made us get a red and a blue. Or she made us get two primary colors to make a secondary color. And what we had to do was, we had to go from dark to light, while at the same time blending the colors together. These are just stamps we had to use. You'll see those, why I had to use these for something. I just taped them up on the wall. One of them fell, actually. Yeah, no, one of them actually did fall, or at least I didn't tape it. Did I tape it? I'm not sure. I can't find it. I don't know what happened to it. I'm kind of scared. Anyway, oh my god, why is this being complicated? This is when we went to the Fine Arts Museum. So, this piece was also another Day of the Dead thing. So she was making us learn how to do skulls and stuff like that, and the thing was that we had to do a really big skull. I, of course, BS'd it and told her, no, I'm not going to do that. So I didn't do that. Instead, I made a smaller skull with a bunch of flower petals. So the skull's inside the flower. And it's supposed to be, you're supposed to do a bunch of different roses. We're supposed to do roses, I guess. So I got a bunch of different roses, searched up different colors of roses, like, you know, even edited ones, and did the petals. And I think my favorite petal is this one, and... It's not going to look good on camera, but this one's also kind of nice. That was like a really nice pale rose. Anybody get triggered by that? I did this randomly. This is just nothing. This is kind of boring. Nothing really. It's just a bunch of paint I had left over, and so I did something on it. These pieces were based off of calendars, and there's a calendar piece. That's the calendar piece right there, and you have to paint the rest of it based off of that piece, the piece you picked. I did another one, even though I didn't have to. So there's that right there. My camera's being slow for no apparent reason. So yep, that's the piece I did. I found the rose! Okay, so I didn't put it there. So there's just a random blank spot there, and that makes me really annoyed. But that's the rose I made. So let's go continue on with the rest of my journey. You'll see my hand right now, so I can block out everything. I block out the haters. Okay, I'm joking. But that is the piece I did so many years ago. It's in tangles. Isn't it great? I don't know. I can't tell. I didn't like the leaf shape, but it was better than anything else. And this piece, oh man, this piece is so old. I wasn't even in an art class when I did this. Like, I took a year, like, break, but you'll see. This is the first, like, major piece I did in Prismacolor pencils. That took me forever. Like, look at that. It's not even, like, perfect. I want to redo this digitally, but I'm not going to do this exact same thing because this is not my character design anymore. Alright, so I'm not going to show you, like, the pieces that I don't have on the walls. I realize that I don't have enough time for that. My video won't upload that way. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the things I made, not the art exactly, the crafts part of the art units this year. And then show you the last parts of what's on my walls. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the things on my walls. So here is like one of the best things I made. This was my tapestry. So the stamps that I showed you earlier, we had to use stamps and then stamp them on there. And that's a rose, by the way. I'm obsessed with roses. And this is another Day of the Dead thing. We had to do a skull and pointillism. This is not pointillism. I cannot do pointillism because my dots are always so... I like my dots being everywhere, but there's a lot of texture going on. Like, I don't know if I can show that to you. But yeah, there's texture on this. I can't show you the texture. Like, yeah, you can see it right there. It's cracking. Alright, one more of these things, and then we can go over and I'll show you the crafts. And then this is the last thing I did. I did not actually finish this. But this is another tapestry, and I wanted it simple, and yep, there it is. It's fire, because you know I'm a fire person anyway. So the things I made, yeah, I made a sword. It's not exactly the best sword. Ow, I just stepped on something. But it's a sword, I guess. I mean, it's not exactly perfect or the way it should have been made. It was actually very rushed. I had to get this turned in for the grading period. But yeah, no, this is my sword, and it's like a Minecraft sword, and I don't like it. Okay, so we had another... That light looks like it's not being on properly. It's just my camera. Anyway, we made little houses this year, and you were supposed to make... Well, you weren't supposed to make little houses. You were supposed to make a really big, like... Not really big. You had to make, like, a small model of something you wanted to make. So I made simple, basic house, like, cuttings. There's a video of me actually cutting and gluing things, and me failing miserably in the process. This is one of the houses. I told the teacher that I was only going to really paint these properly, and I never did. So I'm going to show you the other ones. This is a small little square-based one. And there's nothing really special about it. I messed up there. Top. And then here's my favorite one, because this is like based off my favorite character. I like this side. It has a little flower. This is the one I messed up on, by the way, to anybody who was wondering. I messed up on painting one of the sides. So when it came to the gluing process, I really messed up, and yep. Plan things out before you do them, okay? Alright, so I'm going to show you a clay project. This was my handmade project that I had to do. Like, I had to hand build this, and it's like the worst thing. It's supposed to be a succulent, but now that I look at it, it looks more like a coral. It's fine. It's totally fine. Alright, here is a hand-built container. That's supposed to be a type of fruit, a type of food. And I made a watermelon, and I was going to use this for my succulent watermelon, but I never do, and I haven't actually fixed that out yet, so no, I haven't figured it out. Here is a little landscape that we had to do. I didn't really like this. I pretty much I didn't want to paint any of these projects, honestly. So I just did them, I guess. So here's a terrible landscape I made. Here's a pillow we had to do, and I painted on top of it. It was supposed to be a little throw pillow that you never actually use. Isn't it cute? It's a little rose. I like roses. And here's the cartoon character we had to do. I did not give her a face because I did not want to try and paint one on her, because that was just no, big no. There's a little rose on top of her head. Ta-da! And here is a Nico, which is supposed to be a Mexican picture frame that I did not finish properly. I was supposed to add something in there, but I didn't want to. So there it is. It's a bit uneven, like my personality, and if I could just find a way to... There's supposed to be a flower in that. And here's the last two things I'm going to show you, and it is the hand-built... This is the hand-built thing I made on the wheel this year. It's not the best, but it holds these paintbrushes, and this is my little cat container that we had to make. We had to make an animal container, and I did. That's the head, and if I take these brushes out, it should be like this, and you set the head on top of it. It's a bit uneven, but it's supposed to represent my cat, because my cat is calico, and she has a white tummy, and the rest of her is just, you know, there's her tail right there. But yeah, no, she's insane. Okay. I think that's for everything to show you guys. You may look at my Ruby poster, and I forgot one thing. This is the best thing I've ever made this year. So I'm going to do this in front of a door. This was my profile picture for a while. Like, I had this on top of my face, and it was extremely edited, and you couldn't tell what it was. But this was the, mask we had to do. So I'm going to show you guys what it looks like on my face right now. It's not exactly the best. I I don't have anything to hold this up on my face, but I really like this project for so many reasons, because I got to have my creativity just come out, and I was really happy with this project because I really like beads and I like layering a lot of elements onto something. So yeah, that's my whole video. I'm going to now do the whole you should subscribe and stuff like that part. Almost dropped that. Okay, you guys should subscribe and leave a like and leave a comment if there's any of these images that I showed you that you want me to redo as digital pieces and put like a speed paint or something like that, I don't know. You put that in the comments. Just state the time or just describe the piece. Simple. Anyway, leave a like, leave a comment. My links are down below if you want to follow me on any of my social medias. I don't know why you would, because I don't post, but I post on Instagram stories. That's all I can tell you. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye, guys.